All right, we're live. Hi, everyone. I am Chantel Taltioli. I am the owner of A Beautiful Surprise. We are a wellness studio with a brick and mortar in a suburb of Salt Lake City, but through the beauty of Zoom and Facebook and et cetera, we are everywhere. We teach virtual. And one of the modalities that I teach is Pilates. And I say like Pilates. And oh, Ashley, you're cutting out just a little bit. So I'm going to close out some more of my screens here. So Ashley is here with me today, and we're doing a live to talk about this next round of Pilates teacher training. Ashley is the director of community at Pure Body Teacher Training, and I asked her to come on and do a live with me because we were just talking, the faculty with Heather Erdman, the owner as well, and the creator of Pure Body Teacher Training, about how unique it is that Pure Body Teacher Training has a full-time director of community, which is really like there's so many uniquenesses to Pure Body Teacher Training. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So for anyone who has ever considered wanting to go through a Pilates teacher training course, and I've never actually looked at the numbers, Ashley, but I think that about half the people that have gone through the training with me here in Utah have done it because they just want to understand Pilates for their own body. And about the other half has probably done it because they want to actually go on and teach it and do it as a career as well, or they're current Pilates teachers. And so I'll look at the numbers. It's just intriguing me now. So Ashley, you officially introduce yourself and just let us know a little bit more about who you are.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me on. As you said, I'm Ashley. I'm the director of community at PPTT, and I'm also faculty for PPTT. So I also teach the comprehensive course. But yes, I work full time as the director of community, and it's a really exciting role. And as you just mentioned, it's not a common role, for a Pilates teacher training program, but I think it speaks to um, the fact that we really wanted to invest in community, that it was something that was very important to Heather, the founder, and Jamie, the co-founder, and faculty. And I think everyone just saw it as in leadership roles, really saw it as something that was worth investing in. We are big on supporting students through the journey, and what better way to do that than through a welcoming and inclusive community. So it's a fabulous job in the sense that I get to help to just make the most out of this journey for the students who go through it. So and to your thought on who goes through the program and why, I don't know the numbers either, but I would think like 30%, like 70% they're thinking, it's a career change, or in addition to what they're already doing, are going through it. I think it probably depends a little bit on the location, right? And who they attract. But there's definitely a fair amount of people who also go through it just to deepen their own practice, to understand their body better. I mean, I think what better modality than Pilates than to understand full body integration and how the muscles work together synergistically, and really how to take care of yourself, as you grow older. But I would say somewhere in that percentage, whether it's 30%, 40%, 50%, even maybe in some areas, as you said, you have the people who start that way. But then once they get in and they start learning, not that you have to, but that maybe there was just some hesitation because they didn't have the, confidence, or the thought that they could be a teacher, or they had something, an idea of what a Pilates teacher was, right? Like a preset belief about where they worked or what they did or how they acted. And I think our program, being such a inclusive, welcoming, and supportive program, we really help to work with each individual to find, how the program will best fit them and what their goals are. But faculty really serves as mentors to students in the program and tries to help them expand the definition of what it means to be a Pilates teacher. And do you want to work in this venue or that environment? And so I think in that sense, sometimes we get a lot of people who then go from thinking, I just want to deepen my own practice to like, maybe I could make this work, in an environment that already taps into other skills that I have and that I enjoy doing. So
Yeah.
that was a long answer to your question, but
That's good. Yeah, I think because so many people think that like becoming a Pilates teacher means either you go into a studio and teach Pilates or you open your own studio and teach Pilates. And while that's like two of the most common ways, it's not the only. There's so many ways you can enhance your life or enhance your current career by learning to teach Pilates as well, let alone like learning how to do it within your own body even deeper. A client today who came in and she's thinking about doing the training as well. And she said, because every time I do a private session, I learn something so deep and so life changing for when I'm doing my Pilates practice, but just in life in general, because you really learn the biomechanics of like how to move functionally in today's world. And I was like, that's true. It's like taking a private session and getting so nitty gritty on literally every single exercise. And so maybe we could talk about that a bit more. I wrote down some notes here as far as like some of the things that make PPTT so unique and so different from, and I can speak like personally, I was a comprehensively certified teacher outside of Pure Body for the first 16, 17 years-ish of my career. And I found Pure Body teacher training because I needed teachers in my own studio. And then as soon as I saw the curriculum come in, I was like, holy, I need to be a part of this and I need to understand this because PPTT just made everything click. And I think that that's like that's been the biggest eye opener for me is not only, and those that have come from the Pilates community kind of will understand this a little bit more. Not only did I not feel like I wasn't on my own island anymore, and I felt like I was really embraced and brought in into the community space, but everything started to click together. So everything moving from the mat work into the reformer work, the chair work, into the tower. And then I think of it as like this interweaving also. And that to me was, instead of trying to understand, a gazillion different exercises haphazardly, understanding the one silver thread brought everything together and just made everything, it boosted my own confidence as a teacher. And it boosted all of my clients' like the way that they were able to improve through the system as well. And so PPTT is a classical program. There are 9 modules spaced out once per month. We have 178 face-to-face hours and then 600 of homework hours, right? So it is the longest and it is the most rigorous, in my opinion, but also I think like you would agree, Ashley, as well, of any classical program out there. And I'm even going to say like any program. So not only do you learn like the actual choreography of every single exercise, but you learn the common mistakes, which is huge, right? When like as a new teacher or as a teacher that's been teaching for a really long time, we all know that like when someone goes into a plank, the head drops. So instead of saying, pick your head up, pick your head up, pick your head up, like even besides like knowing the alignment of I'm looking for the ear shoulder alignment, right, all the way down. But then why does that keep happening? And then what can I do about this outside of getting them into a plank in order to help like the whole body so that the head stops dropping kind of thing. But we go through that with literally every single exercise. You see the common mistakes and then how and what to do about them. You learn the progressions, you learn the regressions for every single exercise, super unique. And then when appropriate, meaning that like, if that's like, okay, that's enough, you learn the variations, which is super fun also, right? Then the other thing that like just blew my mind with PPTT was that you also learn common contraindications. So 37-ish of the top common contraindications, so that you can teach not only a private, but you can walk out of PPTT and really even after the first couple of modules, be able to teach in a group setting as well. So that you can teach and someone can come into your class and have scoliosis. Someone can come into your house or into your studio if you're teaching out of your house, who knows, and have any of these common contraindications, and you're still able to safely teach them, giving them the modifications, right? Because then it's not only do they have this contra mod, but then what do I do about it? And how do I safely teach them while I'm teaching someone else who's an athlete that's on the mat next to them or on any other piece of equipment. And to me, that was the biggest, like really eye opener, because as much continuing education that I've done, it was never as thorough as PPTT is. And so it's like, you know, Heather Erdman and Jamie White says it's like 5 years folded into that first year. In my opinion, it was way more than the nearly 2 decades of all of my continuing education rolled into the first year. And so no wonder we have a director of community to help us with all of this and to mentor us through all of this. I'll throw out like a couple more things here. The tactile. You also learn how to tactile, where to tactile, and the direction of giving hands-on touch, why it's important for every single exercise. It's fascinating. Like I can't say enough. And so that's kind of like my highlights of PPTT that I listed out here. I'll let you take over, Ashley. What's some things that stand out for you also?
So I think that was an incredible list, very thorough list. I mean, there's more, but I want to stick with that, with just kind of piggyback on what you, some of the things you just mentioned, because I think what they're all adding up to, the bottom line is we're creating really well-rounded, really well-equipped, marketable teachers, right? So you can work with any client, work in any environment. I mean, going back again to like, you make it what you want to, right? And so you don't need, you know, to go from here and then go, you know, learn about what osteoporosis is. You know, it's like, yes, you can obviously go on and become specialized in an area that you, or a population that you specifically really want to dive deeper into. But I think it's such a thorough, and again, I would use, like you, the word rigorous for the program. It's not only that, you know, we're 9 modules versus the regular 4 or 5. Maybe I've heard 7, but I've never heard 9. Not only that, so it's not just the 9 modules, it's the in between the modules, right? And so again, that's where community comes in. That's where the accessibility that you have to faculty and other students, and you know, digitally. So if you're not right in the neighborhood, you know, you've got digital access, but luckily we all are really familiar with using Zoom now, and digital technology is a silver lining of COVID. So you have access to students all throughout the country, faculty throughout the country who, again, they have their own specializations. So I think, you know, in all the points you made, like the bottom line is, again, this is a job training program, right? So we're not here just to tell you one thing or one way or one piece of equipment or one environment. We want you to be able to make the most out of this career, or, you know, whatever it means to you. And so I think we do that by equipping you really well for different types of environment and different types of clients. You know, I think what you were getting into with like common mistakes, you know, a lot of, or, you know, pathologies, even a lot of these are considered continuing education programs. But this program was created by Heather Erdman, a studio owner, who was like, I need teachers who can teach when they're done with their training program, right? Not who then have to go on and learn, because she was in an incredibly busy studio. She owns an incredibly busy studio that gets all types of different clients, right? And some want individual sessions, and some want group classes, and some have injuries, and just to be able, you know, and some are athletes and, well, you know, much more advanced. And I know during my own first training, we learned a lot about looking at bodies, but it was very much this kind of magical thought of like, oh, you just develop an eye, you know, but it was kind of this vague magical thing, like, oh, I wonder when that eye will make its way to me, you know, when will I, you know, be granted that wish. But the thing is, it's not what it, like, this is just, we teach you what to look for. We know what's going to go wrong. Like, this is experience, and we aren't hiding it, right? We're saying, hey, this is the exercise. This is what you're going to see 90% of the time, you know, and this is how to fix it. And that's another bonus, you know, thinking about pathologies. Yes, I was taught about some pathologies in my program, not nearly as many, but it was just that they can't do this. It's not what can they do instead. So if this person wanders into your class and you're trying to teach a classical mat flow and go through the advanced repertoire with the people who are there for that, Well, where the other person shouldn't be sitting in the corner feeling unwelcome in your class and walking out the door and essentially probably never coming again, right? So how can we train people to teach a class for everyone, for anyone who walks in the door, and find something that's appropriate for them based on the intention of the exercise, because we understand the why of why we're doing the exercises, why we're working through the system in the way that we are. And I think when you're equipped with that knowledge, it's not magical. It's just we're telling you what to do, what to look for, and that's confidence at the end of the day, right? Like these teachers graduate feeling confident and equipped and ready to teach. In environments. You didn't even hit on the equipment, but again, that's another way. We don't have an equipment bias. We are a classical program, but we host in contemporary studios. We teach you about contemporary equipment, the differences between classical and contemporary. Again, it's a job training program. Most studios are contemporary. So whether we have a preference or not on what we want to use, at our own studios or in our own practice, we're very much aware, other things are out there and we want you to know about them.
Yeah. And like the equipment, but then also the lineage, which I think, is me coming in as a teacher, then teaching so many years and doing so many different continuing educations. It was always, well, this is from so-and-so's lineage or another one. And like, as those of us in the Pilates world, they'll know like the elders. And so PPTT for me, that was that silver thread of let's bring them all together. Let's understand the difference so that we know what we're really teaching. And let's also understand what we know Joseph Pilates himself actually put in either his books or is in any of the historical footage that we have access to. And then let us decipher from there without and I think so many other teachers also might not even realize that or students they're taking, that they're only learning from one lineage. And so this really is for anyone that wants to get into the nitty gritty and really go OG, as I would say, to understand it. And because it is so thorough, the huge thing that stands out for me is that you're forever a student. You never pay again. You don't ever pay again for continuing education credits. You don't ever pay again if, let's say you want to go to another city with another faculty member and sit in, and you really want to rediscover or, re-sit in on Reformer 3 or Apparatus 3. You're a student for life. You're in Pure Body for life. You never pay again. And that really kind of speaks to not only the community, but it speaks to the way that the material is not only taught, but is applied, that you would want to do that and you'd want to continue education. And it's so multi-layered. And so that's really at the heart of Pure Body teacher training. I feel like for me is it's the all-inclusive, but it's everything you could ever want right up front. And then, but wait, there's more, kind of, yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Ashley? Anything else you want to include here? I just wanted to do this shout out. We're officially the doors are open. I can drop the link down here for anyone that wants to get registered. But anything else that you would like to include here?
Yeah, I think you spoke so well to so many of the benefits that are out there and the uniques that make, PPTT what it is. So I can elaborate a bit, just even, you were talking a bit on the all-inclusive factor of PPTT, the things that how we have, right, the audits for life, I think you mentioned. So that's such a value. I've seen them, right, discounted. If you've gone through the program, they're maybe at 50%, but again, I think resources like that, all the community resources that we have, both, within our digital network, and then of course, when we meet in person, additional resources and access, right? Again, I don't know about you, but I never had access to the faculty, aside from when I was being lectured to in a module, and not just one faculty, but everyone out there. And so I think the value of the program, and, you can't financially measure things like support or mentorship, right? But in some ways, it's wow, it's invaluable, the amount of support that you get. And to know that you're once a student, you're always a student. So we have brand new students in there. We have students from years ago who come in and they talk to the new students, and they still comment, they still find it a valuable place to be. We always like to think that we're in there, we're creating things that we find we've all, previous faculty and hosts have all been there before. So we try and create relevant content and resources. We've got things like a video observation library, which
Right.
helps students to gain access, when they can't be in person, or if they're just trying to pick up some extra hours. We have resources in there. We have, master classes discounted that we teach. The faculty teaches weekly to students. And you can join the one with your faculty. You can join the one with another faculty. And you can get to know more people in the community. And again, it's like just this, you can't really put a price on, the value of just having that
Right.
support throughout the program. And I think it's not, it's not common to see that throughout. And I think it goes to the goal of the program. And it's really just to, have the best teachers out there. And so why wouldn't you want to continue to gain more education and access and resources and support? So I think, it's not a money grab, right? It's about making the best teachers. So I think you can see why those decisions were made.
Yeah, I think like you just hit it spot on. Is you can't really put a price on mentorship, and when you're looking for something to like quite possibly change your life, like that's how I think about this. Is when you go through PBTT, you literally are purchasing a career. And so maybe I'll just talk about like what I am offering also. So we're in the early bird special rates, the best pricing possible. It does end on 125. So literally, I think it's a week from today. What I'm offering as well is like a super bonus on top of that is access to mastering the brain game, which is something that I teach as a separate modality from Pilates. But maybe what I should call it really, because I fold that into so many other things that I teach, the Rise Tribe as well. You can see my hashtag down there. Into like how to build a 6-figure Pilates business. That's really what the bonus is that I teach. And so it's a 10-week series that we meet together. And I literally teach you the how-tos, how to build a business, right? So you learn how to teach Pilates from such an in-depth perspective. And then for those that are wanting to like make this their career or build a business around it, I'm adding that as a super bonus. So I'm offering it just to the first 5 people that sign up. And yeah, it's going to be really fun because I'm really going to be able to layer it in. And like, I'm the proof is in the pudding, right? This is how I build my business. And so I love that I can teach all of these different modalities that really fold into each other and are unified. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Because it's not, like the price of pure body teacher training, you pay once and you never pay again. You're not paying for
Right.
manuals. You're not paying for studio time. You're not paying for CECs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really, really unique, right? It's not
Yeah.
about making a money maker. It's about making really incredible Pilates teachers in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not required to purchase privates, with a specific instructor at a specific studio. So it's like, we're giving you the flexibility to make it, the way that you want it to be. Obviously, we hope that, right, you'll want to take more classes, but you also have the opportunity to work with other students in the program. If it's a financial issue, then privates are expensive, right? They're upwards of $100 or more, per session. So there's many programs, right, that require you to purchase 20 privates up front or before you can even enter the program. And I think, even though we hope you'll want to work with our, studios and our faculty, we certainly don't require that. We allow you to do many of your hours with your fellow students, not only the students in your own cohort, but other more advanced students who have maybe, been at this for 3 years. And again, it's just a lot of flexibility for, I think the point goes back to allowing people to make it what they want it to be and what's going to be most meaningful to them and how they're going to be able to draw on their goals and their skills. And, I think I used the word marketable before, thinking about, we're really wanting to make marketable teachers, but the other word, as you were just talking about, your program is profitable, right?
Right.
Like, I think it's sometime we need to do a whole nother piece on like the myth that Pilates teachers don't make any money, right? Like, can that be our next next chat talking a little like that's we should do some Mythbusters, but I feel like that's out there. Sometimes you're like, oh, just do a little side Pilates, little side that. I mean, you can really make it. You don't have to, but you really can make it a profitable business and the way that you want to, right? Like I didn't take the studio path because I felt like my skills were better suited to go into the teaching and the faculty. And then that's, has brought me into the role that I do now, which is more of, working with the students and in that capacity and supporting the community and the members in it. So that really drew to my previous skill set. So yes, it's wrapped up in Pilates and, you took it a different way. And I think people need to know that they can make it what they want, but they absolutely can make it a profitable thing. And that's part of our intention as a program to be able to equip you with the skills and the knowledge and everything you need to be able to make that decision for yourself and to be profitable. Yeah, it is a career. Not a hobby. Can be a hobby, but it can
right. And a really fun career, right? Yeah. I remember reading like years ago when I was fresh out of college that like the number one job satisfaction was a personal trainer. And this was like long before I ever even considered becoming a Pilates teacher. And I thought, well, that was really interesting. And then I remember like this light bulb moment of like, that's true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Because like what we do as Pilates teachers is similar to personal trainers in that we can see people enter the studio, right? We can feel the energy come off of them. And then they leave the studio like so ready to take on the world. And like, that's what I want to be a part of. And that's where I think like this is so life-changing for people. So
I agree. I think it's the best job. And people when they hear about it, they're like, oh, that must be so fun. And it is fun. But I think even a better word for it would be rewarding.
Yeah.
Like it's so rewarding. Being able to work, whether it's with a client or, in my role as faculty to work with students on the learning curve. It's very, very rewarding work at any level, like from when I started doing it. It's just, it's a meaningful job.
Agree. Yeah, purposeful, right? Like going to bed feeling fulfilled, like I made a difference.
Yeah.
So I think like every human seeking and waking up in the morning excited to like be able to do this and feel very, very fulfilled in your own life. So rewarding is, so fitting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All righty, my friend. Well, thank you so much for being here. I know that this live was just for whomever is out there watching right now, kind of considering it. This call is for you. I'll drop the link down below. You can go ahead and get started and be one of the first 5 to get super bonuses. So, all right, Ashley, thank you for being here. Yeah.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.